Good evening, my name is Hunter Hyatt, and today I'm going to be talking about the Giving Voice to Values case called Gateway Hospital. First, I want to start off with some background on the case. With this case, Kristen and Troy both work at a for-profit hospital, and they are going to Orlando for a conference that's supposed to help them know how to better run the hospital. With the conference, Troy also brings along his family, so they can kind of double it as a vacation and go visit Orlando and see a few things around. As they go, they kind of have their fun, do their conference. Troy misses a couple of the sessions doing stuff with his family, and then stays an extra day. And upon return, when the trip was a little more expensive than he anticipated, he turns in some of his receipts to the company to reimburse that were from his personal expenses, including the extra night that he stayed with his family. After they're turned in, Joyce, who is in their accounting department, reaches out to Kristen and asks why he was there an extra night and why his expenses were higher and what was going on. And Kristen said she doesn't know, but she wants to go talk to Troy about it before turning him in. So the next thing we're going to go into is, what will Troy's main arguments or rationalizations be for turning in these extra receipts? The first is that he feels like he deserves it. He travels a lot, and with that he misses a lot of family time and misses a lot of family experiences that he feels don't get compensated for and that you can't really pay for. Also, he said the company does not cover the cost of these entire conferences, and that they have to front or take some of the costs that he feels that he should be reimbursed for. He also says that the amount is immaterial, that the amount he is asking for back in extra does not really matter to the company. They have enough money to pay him, and he doesn't feel he's paid enough. He feels that he deserves more for what he does. And so next, it's going to ask what is at stake for this fraud happening. And so I broke it into three people: what's at stake for Troy, Kristen, and then for the hospital. For Troy, the two main things are his reputation and job. With this, if he gets caught, he will most likely lose his job, and then he'll have the reputation of being a fraudster and lying, which will make it harder to get a job. And then I included he could also lose his family. It seems a little drastic, but one of the main causes of problems in marriage is money. And if he does lose his job and can't find another one, there could be some money problems which could cause that problem for him. Next is Kristen. She could also lose her reputation, and I thought of it in two different ways. She could also be considered fraudulent for not turning him in, but also if she does turn him in, she could be considered a narc or a tattletale, and people may not trust her or want to be around her. If he does get caught and they know that she knew about it, she could also lose her job. And with not telling, she'll also have it on her mind and her conscience, and that could tear her apart from the inside. As far as the company goes, the main thing they would lose is money, that little amount, and then with the avenues it would open for future misappropriations, whether from Troy or other people, they would lose more money that way, which would in turn make them lose out on patients and investors and everything that goes along with that. So next, I want to talk about what levers we can use as Kristen to talk to Troy. And the first one I thought of was that his actions are harmful to the company. You know, the company is a hospital, it's meant to help people, and his actions hurt that and can hurt people in the long run. And then also the next we want him to look at is the long-term versus the short-term. So the long-term consequences versus the short-term gains. You know, it's a small amount. He said it himself, it's immaterial. So are those short-term gains worth the consequences that he'll receive, which are probably losing his job and his reputation? And lastly, she can threaten to go to Joyce. You know, Joyce already knows something is going on and something's a little fishy, and so she could just threaten to go straight to Joyce and tell her what's going on if he doesn't want to do it himself. And the next is how we can respond to his rationalizations. First, Joyce has already been asking, and she knows they were fraudulent, so that's one way that we can just kind of go with that immediate threat. Like, I'll go tell Joyce if you don't want to do this yourself. Like, she knows it's going on and knows what's going on, but we need to take care of this. He also says feels like he deserves it, but she needs to let him know that that's not right, and that he may feel he deserves it, but he needs to do the right thing and ask for the raise if he wants it. As well, the amount may be immaterial, but it's never right to steal, and it opens avenues for the future. And then in who, when, and how, so Kristen should have this conversation with Troy, and if needs be, involve Joyce. And it should probably happen in a private setting, and it probably should be a place where they can be open and honest. this is my case, and I just want to thank you all for listening today.